Hello, everyone. Well, do you notice anything different? Do you notice anything different? I got a chair now. Just to give you an idea, what I've been sitting on for the past 2 months is this thing right here, which is like the top of an ottoman or something like that. You store some stuff in, and I had this sitting on the top of the legs of the chair because the bottom half of my chair was in one storage pod, and the other half of the chair, this part, was in another storage pod, and we just got the second one yesterday. Believe that crap? Whatever. Like I always say, show must go on. Killer intro in 3, 2, 1. What's up, advocates, and welcome back to another episode of the Commercial Claims Show here on YouTube, where it all started. Go look at the first episode. Not the ones in the car, but the ones that, like, it says introduction. I mean, it was super like widescreen. It looked all weird. For me, who somebody likes photography, videography, it was really crappy. I didn't like it at all. But hey, we're here now. It's about a year and a half later, and we're kicking butt. Thank you guys for all of your support. If you are new to the show, please make sure you click subscribe right down here and click the little bell too, because it'll let you know as soon as we come out with a new episode, which is basically every Wednesday. We call it Content Wednesday, and we try to put it out every morning on Wednesday. So today, make sure, my name is Vince Perry, commercial claims advocate, licensed public adjuster in Florida, California, and Texas. And basically, go ahead and follow us. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. All kinds of stuff happening every single day. We don't stop, all right? We don't stop. We keep moving, and we just really enjoy every single bit of it. Sorry, took a little shower. You know how it is, a little hot, a little sweaty. But today, we've got one of these unique episodes that you guys have given me really rave reviews about, which is the, what do we call it? We call it, geez, now I can't remember the name. We're going to do a claim study today. And what is a claim study? I'm going to take you back to one of my old claims, and we're just going to go through it from A to Z. I'm going to tell you the whole story and how it went. This one is unique. The reason why it's unique is, frankly, this one did not go well at all. So I'm going to basically tell you about one of my biggest failures. Earlier on in my career, it just did not give us the result that we wanted. It was a little brutal. It's tough to explain to a client because, again, this is with the appraisal. This is with the umpire. Whatever the umpire says, it's final. I learned my lesson the hard way. I definitely learned not to use that umpire again. So that's one lesson I'm going to tell you. But, just to give you an example that we can't hit a home run on every single one, especially when you're just starting out, you're going to fail. Right? But I always say you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes. So let's just get straight into it. So we had a water loss. I remember specifically, it's a water loss behind the... It was a water loss that started, the insured first noticed it coming out from underneath the kitchen cabinets, okay? We took out the refrigerator. We could see some significant water damage, and the water just sort of kept running. We didn't know what was going on. We called the plumber immediately, and the leak ended up being underneath the slab. So in order to get access to this, we did have to go to the floor to get access to the pipe, to replace the pipe, or repair the pipe so that the leak was no longer happening. Pretty big project. We got the plumber out there. He did what he had to do. Fortunately, he didn't have to remove any cabinets, because where the pipe was located was away from the cabinets, and I'll get into that later. So we filed a claim, pretty decent claim, right? We got tile flooring through most of the house. Obviously, we put in kitchen cabinets, we put in there all kinds of stuff. It starts with the initial inspection was okay. If I remember correctly, this was quite a while ago. The clients, by the way, were very nice. Thank God. This is one of my Miami claims. Clients were teachers, Winnebago people, where every summer they go and they travel the whole U.S. I mean, really, really good people. And frankly, I wanted to take care of them as best as I could. We gathered all the evidence. We had the plumber's invoice. We had the plumber's work. I mean, you could see the work that was done. It wasn't like a big trench type thing. They were able to locate, pinpoint exactly where the leak was. So the hole was only about yay big or so. So it wasn't really a big deal. It was right in the middle of their kitchen. So obviously they had to go ahead and do that. And then what we did was we called the insurance company. Insurance company came out, did everything. They made a lowball payment, undisputed payment like they usually do. And we filed appraisal. When I met the appraiser out there, the appraiser was just not the nicest of guys. The guy was giving me, I was still very new, right? I was probably about 2-3 years into it. My estimates weren't the greatest, I would say. And in my estimate, I was missing walls. Funny, missing walls. And he actually gave me a lot of crap about it, which I didn't find that very fair. I mean, no big deal, take it off of my estimate. I don't understand why that's such a big deal. It's missing walls, But he made it a big deal. I said, no problem. I'll redo my estimate. I edited the estimate, removed the missing walls. Really didn't affect my estimate that much, but he just would not get up to any kind of number. I guess he knew that I was just starting out. I mean, I must have been like 25 years old at the time. And he was just like, yeah, we're not going to do anything for you. So I rolled the dice on an umpire I had never used before. Because I had met this umpire at another claim, and he seemed really nice. Right? It seemed really nice. Even though my partner at the time was like, you probably don't want to go with that umpire. I said, no, I got along with him really good. I think it'll go well. Let's go with him. So we go with this umpire. He goes to the property, doesn't really say much. He goes through his thing and he just sort of, puts his estimate together, does what he does as an umpire. We talked about our arguments. We said, this is why we need this. This is why we need that. I have to be honest. I assumed, and we all know what assume means, I assumed that the kitchen cabinets were a no-brainer. The floors did not go underneath the kitchen cabinets, but because of where the leak was, there was some significant, there was damage to the cabinets. There was some significant damage to the cabinets. So the floors didn't go underneath the cabinets, but because of where the leak started, which was behind the cabinet, okay, and behind the refrigerator area, the damage was really to the cabinet right next to the refrigerator, okay? Pretty old cabinets, Obviously, I had all the cabinets in my estimate. I didn't even think I would have to argue kitchen cabinets to the umpire or to anyone. And when the umpire award came back, he had to replace only one box cabinet. And I'm like, that's not something that happens, especially when you're in the appraisal process and you've got damage to kitchen cabinets. More often than not, you get all of the cabinets replaced. That's what it is. They're all matching cabinets. They all were built at the same time. They were all installed at the same time. I am not a big fan of refacing cabinets and repainting cabinets. I mean, most cabinets are... most cabinets, if you got damage to one, it's going to be tough to just sort of make them look the way they look to pre-existing, pre-loss conditions. So I called the umpire and said, did you make a mistake? You only replaced one box cabinet. And the guy had the nerve to tell me,
well, I'm not going to put more than one box cabinet. These people aren't going to replace their cabinets anyway.
And I'm like, that is completely regardless of the point here. The kitchen cabinets are damaged and they are owed. And he's like, I'm not going to put it. This is where it stands and this is what we're going to do. And I said, all right. I said, well, we're going to have to take you off the umpire list and never use you again. And I'll make sure that anytime I see you on the umpire list, especially on the insurance, on the public adjuster side, to not go with you. All right. And I've done that. Especially now with the commercial claims show, commercial claims advocate. If I see him on the list, if somebody asks me, I say, you probably don't want to go with that guy because this is what happened with me. So, it's an unfortunate occurrence, especially when, again, early in my career, I sort of told the client, this is what I think we can get to. And we didn't even get close to that. And that is the scary thing about appraisal, right? This is what everybody's always afraid of going to appraisal is if I go to appraisal and the appraiser doesn't agree with what I want and the umpire doesn't agree with what I want, that's it. It's over, dead in the water. That, my friends, unfortunately is a fact. Now, I can say that in over 13 years of experience, that is the only time that it's happened. So, does that mean that it can happen? Obviously, yes, because it happened to me. But are your odds pretty good? Your odds are pretty good that it's not going to happen to you. My experience with appraisal, as most of you know, if you watch my videos, are very, very positive. I personally, in Florida, love to go to appraisal. I think it's the way to go. I think every state should have it because, frankly, if the insurance company wants to avoid high costs of litigation, appraisal is the way to go. And a lot of times, even when they're in litigation, guess what they do? They end up going to appraisal anyway. So I don't really understand why it's not more nationwide. It's very useful here in Florida, and I think it's very beneficial. If you guys ever have any questions about appraisals, I mean, I won't want to say I'm consider myself an expert, but I've been doing appraisals for a very, very long time. And I just think they're very, very beneficial. It's very relationship based, right? So someone like me, yes, now in my career, I think appraisals are great because I know a lot of the appraisers on the other side, and they're always willing to sort of work with you. And the great thing about appraisal is that it's not like when you meet a field adjuster in a property. Well, when you meet a field adjuster and the field adjuster promises you the world, you know that doesn't mean anything, because once he submits it to the desk adjuster, you never know. Everything is out the window. You know, the desk adjuster could say, no, we completely deny your claim, or we're only going to pay a fraction of this field adjuster's estimate. As opposed to appraisal, when you go and meet the appraiser, if you get along with the appraiser and you can convince him of everything that you want to claim, no matter how much more it is, whatever the appraiser says is final. Whatever the appraiser submits to the insurance company is what it is. That's what's going to be paid. So the better you get along with the appraiser, chances are the better the outcome is going to be for you. And then the other part of this is the longer you're doing this, the more you're going to get to know umpires. And the more umpires you're going to know that are fair or that are unfair. So gather your list of umpires. And if you live in Florida, reach out to me. I'll be happy to share my list with you. You know, this is only good for the umpires, right? Reach out to me, but I've over the years gathered my list, and my list has actually gotten pretty extensive because I just get along with a lot of the appraisers. Appraisers do umpires too. I see when they're fair with me. Okay, this is all you appraisers out there, especially in Florida. If you're fair with me, and you want to do umpire work, I'll put you on my umpire list if I know that you're being fair. And that's worked out for me in the past. And my umpire list has grown pretty significantly just because of that. But the more you're doing this, the longer you're doing this, the better relationships you build with the umpires, and the better list that you could have. So I think it's a great process. This case, it did not work out for me, unfortunately. Can you believe it? An umpire only paid for one box cabinet. One cabinet. He expected the insured, because it was right next to the fridge, to detach this sucker, not damaging the countertop, not damaging any of the other adjacent cabinets, detach this sucker and only replace that one. I mean, it was crazy. I literally talked to my partner and he's like, dude, why don't you call him? Because maybe he made a mistake. And that's what I did. I called him. I said, did you make a mistake? And he said,
No, I did not make a mistake. Bah, 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 bah.
well, like I said, that umpire was off of my list a long time ago. And yeah, it's a big red flag when I see his name still to this day. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I guess kind of short and to the point. Usually they're a little bit longer, but I just wanted to tell you guys a couple things. Again, it's me and my advocacy for the appraisal process, number one. But number two, we all make mistakes. Don't get discouraged if that happens to you. I might even give you, the next time we do a claim study, I might even give you another one. I'll give you another one of my failures. I've got plenty of them. I could probably write a book about it. Maybe I should write a book about it. Failures in business in general. It's like ridiculous. I've failed way more times than I've succeeded. But that's how you learn, especially in this claims business. You're gonna forget to put stuff in the estimate. You're gonna negotiate for less than you wanted to. But all that stuff, you're just going to get better. It's gonna help you learn. It's gonna cause you to think a little bit more. Okay? I always say that when you're at your worst is when you come up with the best ideas. Okay? So don't get discouraged. I have failed plenty of times. All right? So I think the next claim study, I'll do another failure. But all right, that's it. That's what we got. Didn't work out, but that's okay. So like I always say, guys, subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot of things happening. We've got our course coming out again in July. We might do, since July's so far away because we've got some events, we might do a course in April. So stay tuned for that. We'll send you guys an email or we'll put a video on social media. Make sure you follow us Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Subscribe to this right here. We'll have a podcast coming out next week. And every other week is a different video, different podcast. Hope you guys enjoy it. Please feel free to message me anytime. And that's all I got. All right. You guys have yourself a wonderful day and a wonderful week. I'll see you next week. Later.